or next season, the 49ers or the Ravens? And like this, something like we only got to give like a 2 minute take each on our opinion because it's not
Yeah,
that
that's it. Just our opinion, and then we're go on with. We got some really cool topics coming up anyway. So
exactly. So I'll let you answer first, bro. Go ahead.
okay, word. Sorry, it's texting Shawty. All right. Um. All right. When it comes down to who's gonna digress more, I'm just gonna keep it blunt with you. My choice here is the 49ers.
I agree with you, bro.
The reason is not necessarily because the 49ers are losing so many pieces or whatnot, but just objectively, you look at their team. Richard Sherman, great corner, but he is aging. But again, that's not necessarily something that you can write off. But at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo was a quarterback that no one really had on their radar. Came out last season as a starter and killed it. It was undefeated for a while, and they have a great offense. There are certain factors that worry me, and don't get me wrong, Jimmy Garoppolo, former New England Patriot, I'm cheering for him. But you know, I'm worried that Kittle is gonna turn into Gronkowski towards his end of the career 2.0, because Kittle, like we saw in the playoffs, gets hurt, and during the regular season is a little bit injury prone, and that's not no fault to his own. It's just when you're a tall tight end getting a lot of reps, you're gonna be targeted, especially when you're someone as versatile as him. So when someone who I would consider is probably the number one receiving option on their team is someone who's being targeted and could potentially get hurt any play, especially in the NFL now where you have corners who are, big. Um, I would say that the 49ers are at the biggest risk of digressing. And then when it comes to the Ravens, I mean, you have a reigning MVP. You have a team that trusts him. Big trust is like, that's not just a saying. That's a team. That's a team united. And if you look at, obviously this is a small sample size, but look at Patrick Mahomes. Won MVP, came back this season. What did he do? Win the Super Bowl. I think a big thing about a young quarterback winning MVP early on is showing that they understand the team's culture and understanding how to be successful. And I think Lamar Jackson did that. He understood when to trust Mark Ingram, and trust me, he was on my fantasy team. I love Mark Ingram since he was at Alabama. He came in and he killed it, bro. And so when it comes down to the team that will digress more, I think the Ravens have more potential because they're so young. Mark Ingram is finally coming into his own. Lamar Jackson is for suredly top 5 QBs in the NFL because he's the MVP, just alone. And he knows how to have a chip on his shoulder. Everyone said he was a glorified running back, wide receiver, yada, yada, yada. Dude came back and had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen in the past 5 years. And showed he could throw the ball. And on top of that, they got 2 rookies who I think are game changing. They got J.K. Dobbins at the running back, Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins at the running back. First of all, 2 phenomenal college running backs. Mark Ingram's finally coming into his own, and who's to say J.K. Dobbins won't come into his own? He's from Ohio State. Players that come from there generally know what they're doing, and their defense got an upgrade in Patrick Queen coming from LSU. So I think the Ravens have so much potential on their side that it would be hard to look at them and say, they're going to digress. So that's my opinion.
I'm gonna say chuts to everything you said. I mean, my reason might be a little bit different. You say you don't think it's really because of big free agent losses for the 49ers, but I think that they finna regress because of one like head ass dumb free agent move. I don't know what was going through the 49ers front office people's heads, but they traded DeForest Buckner, which was like I just looked at my phone. I was like, the reason why that defense balled out the way it did to the high degree it really went to work with was because of that 3-man 4-man rush with DeForest Buckner. Like you were able to just rush 3-4 guys and get to the quarterback. He was he was an internal lineman able to apply that type of pressure on the quarterback. Or maybe he's a DN. I think he's an interior lineman, but regardless, he's part of that 4-man rush, 3-4-man rush that you could get to the quarterback. Now, the secondary is good, but it's not great. And really being able to only rush 3-4 guys and have extra linebackers drop back into coverage help that secondary a lot. help that defense be the number one defense in the NFL the way it was. So I think that's really going to hurt their defense a big, like, OD. I think it's going to hurt their defense a lot. So and then another factor is their division. They got the Seahawks in that division. They got the Rams in that division, and who else is in that division? The Cardinals. I think obviously the Seahawks are going to be great. They're always every year they're a formidable team that's a force to be reckoned with. Where it's Stephen A. He says that a lot. Then you got the Rams again. The Rams were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They're no easy dub. They're not easy dub. Cardinals going to do a lot better. Like I think their quarterback Murray, he got a bright future ahead of him. Then we look at the NFC North. Steelers, yeah, I mean questions about Big Ben's health and the Steelers are good. I'm not gonna lie. Steelers are a tough team. They're a good team. They got a good defense and everything. But you got the Bengals and the Browns. Those are easy.
If there's a season for Big Ben to digress, is this one.
Exactly. But they got the Bengals and the Browns, two terrible teams. And then, like I said, I think their defense is going to regress a great amount. And to be honest, I don't think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. I'm going to just say this right now, and I'm going to leave it at that. This is a controversial statement, but I do not think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs.
Well, they lose out to in their division.
I think the Seahawks are going to win the division. And I don't think anyone else.
I think they win with the wild card.
I don't think they'll get the wild card. No.
Over who?
Let me look at the team. Let me look at the standings right now.
I'll give it a buck with you. I don't think the Cardinals are a team that can get there. I think
the only team from the NFC West that's going to make the playoffs is the Seahawks in the divisional winner. I don't think anyone else is going to make it.
So you're saying that the 49ers won't even be contention in the wild card?
They might be. They'll be in contention for that second wild card, but they won't make the playoffs. They'll be in the hunt. They'll definitely be in the hunt. They'll probably be like 9-7 or something like that, but they'll miss the playoffs. That's what I think.